Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with another pre-game report. This time it's between the Edmonton Oilers and the Washington Capitals. Washington is coming off a massive 8-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins yesterday. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they're coming off a horrible 6-3 loss to the Philadelphia Flyers. Both these teams played a Pennsylvania team. One of them won, one of them lost. So we'll find out tonight which one's going to win. And by tonight, I mean at 11 a.m. Mountain in Alberta, because that's what time the game starts. It's another matinee. It's another early one. So get your cup of coffee ready, your cup of Joe, your Bailey's in coffee, your water, your soda, your pop, whatever it is that you're having to drink during the game. I hope it's delicious. I hope it's nutritious. And I hope it is refreshing. And you know what else is refreshing? Don't worry, this is not a sponsored segment. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you end up really enjoying the pregame report. I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm feeling good about the game. So yeah, we'll just get into the lineups, projected lineups, the game day stats, and then of course the keys to the game and my score prediction. Make sure to let me know your game day thoughts in the comment section below. Give me your player to watch, give me your score prediction, and some keys to the game for both teams. I'm going to keep working on giving keys to the game for the Oilers opponent, because there are a lot of fans from other teams that do tune into the channel, and I want to make sure that I'm also talking about them, because it's not just about the Oilers, right? Like we're not that high on ourselves these days, and the Edmonton Oilers, oh my God, it's tough to be high on this team right now, because oh boy, they have been struggling. They were struggling before the Four Nations break, and they are struggling coming out of the Four Nations break. Let's see if they can break that narrative. Let's see if Edmonton can find a way to come out on top against one of the league's best teams, one of the league's best defensive teams, and one of the league's best goalies. Let's find out with the projected lineup. Who are the Oilers going with? Well, top line likely will remain Nugent Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. However, during that game against the Philadelphia Flyers, Chris Knoblauch, he was shuffling his lines all over the place. So what you see on the screen here, by the time the puck drops, it is likely not accurate. This is just who I'm projecting to be in the lineup. So we'll see if these lines end up sticking. We'll see how much ice time some of these guys get. We'll see if Nuge remains with McDavid. I know Hyman's been kind of bumped up and down the lineup as well. And for Connor McDavid, that was one of his worst games I think I've seen him in an Oilers uniform. He was a -3 against Philly. I think he had one shot on goal. He wasn't effective at all. And credit to the Flyers, they played really good defensively. But the Oilers as a team, they really struggled, and Connor McDavid was one of them. So look for him to have a much better game, a big bounce back here against Washington. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Matthew Savoie. Savoie, of course, got his first NHL point, his first NHL assist on Draisaitl's goal against Philly in the first period yesterday, and you absolutely loved to see that for Matthew Savoie. I thought he played great. He played about 13 minutes. I would have liked to see him get more ice time. In the third period yesterday against Philly, he was at about 1:35 time on ice until Philly got the empty netter, and then he got about another minute and a half in the final 3 minutes of the game to bump himself up just a little bit higher in that third period. For Chris Knoblauch, please play your kid. Play the kid that was arguably the best player for your team just a little bit more. I'm not just saying that because I want to see Savoie get a lot of ice time. I'm saying that because he deserves it. He deserves a proper look. He deserves to have the opportunity. If you're down by a goal late in the third, he deserves that opportunity to go out there and maybe he can be a hero. Maybe he can be a difference maker. And for Savoie, he's trended so well, playing very well in the AHL, comes up, plays a great first game for Edmonton. Let's see if he can follow it up with a second straight game, assuming he's in the lineup. I would be pretty shocked if Chris Knoblauch took him out of the lineup, but we'll see how they utilize the kid on the second half of a back-to-back. Third line, Arvidsson with Henrique and Brown. Henrique and Arvidsson and Brown are three players that just are a big nothing burger right now, especially Adam Henrique. He's just not doing anything. Like, I know he's on the PK, but at 5-on-5, you never really notice him. You don't notice him doing anything good or bad. He's just a very net neutral player. I just want more, right? This is a guy that historically can put the puck in the net and produce offense. I know that's not his role on the Oilers right now, but they need depth scoring. They need the bottom six to step it up. They need some offense here. And yes, Connor Brown did get an assist yesterday against the Flyers, but I don't think he had a single shot attempt on goal himself, and we need more from him as well. And Arvidsson too. Don't get me started on Victor Arvidsson. The closer we get to the trade deadline, the harder I'm going to be on some players, and I don't want to start any negative narrative about specific players, but Victor Arvidsson could very well be playing himself off of this team, depending how Matthew Savoy continues to play leading into the deadline. Just my own thoughts here. Fourth line, Jeff Skinner with Matthias Janmark and Corey Perry. Again, this is a line that likely won't stick. Probably doesn't even start the game like this. And then Kasperi Kapanen, he is the extra forward. Look for Kapanen to probably get into the lineup. I don't know who you take out. Optimally, I would take Janmark out. Knowing Chris Knobloch, he's going to take Jeff Skinner out. On defense, you have Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard. Now, they had a very tough game against Philly, especially Evan Bouchard. Bouchard had a bad turnover that led to Philly's first goal, and then I think it was Philly's third or fourth goal. He tried to throw the puck up the middle of the ice off of an icing. The puck was won back to him. He tried to flip it. It was stolen. Doesn't matter. The Oilers lost. So I'm not going to harp on Bouchard too much here, but Bouchard, he really struggled. He was benched for a little bit in the second period, and then in the third period when the Oilers pulled their goalie, he was not one of the defensemen that was out there to try and get that tying goal. Normally, he's the guy. He's the power play quarterback, and he's the one that's manning the point during the 6-on-5 when the Oilers are down. Yesterday, they put Darnell Nurse out there. So for Evan Bouchard, need more from him. And if he wants that ice time, if he wants to be put in the high-pressure situations where the team needs a goal, he's got to play better than he did yesterday against Philly. On the second pair, Nurse with Klingberg. I didn't think they played terribly. I didn't think they played great, except Klingberg had a goal and an assist against the Flyers, and he looked a lot more comfortable than he had going into the Four Nations break. His skating was much better. He was making plays. He was stick handling better, and it sounds like he was working with some trainers during the Four Nations, the 2 weeks. He was on the ice a lot, working on his skating and his agility and all that good stuff. And it was noticeable. So for John Klingberg, let's see if he can play a second straight game and give the team some offense, give them a chance to win here. Third defense pair, you have Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. I thought Emberson was Edmonton's best defender overall against Philly. Again, wasn't great, but nobody on the team was. But I did like Emberson. He pinched up a couple times, had a couple good opportunities on goal. It's only a matter of time before he scores his first goal as an Edmonton Oiler. Not listed on this little stat chart here or player chart is Troy Stetcher. He may get in the lineup. Who knows? In goal, they're going to go with Calvin Pickard, and they need a big game from Pickard here. Both goalies, Calvin Pickard, he's been pretty solid all season, but he doesn't usually get starts against top 10 teams in the NHL. And this is going to be a big test for Calvin Pickard. If he plays really well, gives the team a good chance to win, doesn't give up a goal within the first 5 shots that he faces, not saying that he would be the guy I would run with leading up to the deadline, but you got to take a look at a lot of different angles and see who's going to give you the best chance to win on a nightly basis. Doesn't matter who your opponent is. I did find it interesting that Knobloch did start Skinner against Philly, and he's given Pickard the start against Washington. Normally, Skinner gets the starts against the tougher opponents. This could be a test for Pickard heading into the trade deadline. I don't know if Bowman and the team is shopping for a goalie, but this is something to keep an eye on, in my opinion. Now let's get into the game day stats. The Washington Capitals, they are 37-11-8 on the year, 6-1-3 in their last 10 games. Yes, they've only lost 1 game in regulation in their last 10. Expected goals for ranks 16th in the NHL, 50.32%. Their power play ranks 11th, 23.3%. Penalty kill ranks 5th at 82.2%. They score 3.64 goals per game, which ranks first in the league. And my God, this team can score goals. Goals against per game ranks second in the NHL, 2.50. And that's a lot of it's on the back of Logan Thompson, who's just had a phenomenal season. A lot of people wanted him on Team Canada for the Four Nations. And Logan Thompson, he has 2 regulation losses all season. I'm just taking a look at my other monitor here. He is 25-2-5 on the season. Can you believe that? Only 2 regulation losses all year. That's unbelievable. Thompson has been crazy in net for Washington. And Charlie Lindgren, he is the other goalie. He's their backup. Respectable numbers, 2.6 goals against, 902 save percentage. So he's no slouch either. But Washington, man, they're just a team that they're stingy and they score a lot of goals. Their Corsi 4 ranks 18th in the league, 49.32%. Shots for percentage ranks 16th, 49.98%. So what's going on with Washington here? Their shot metrics don't look amazing, but they're one of the best teams in the league at generating offense and preventing goals against. How I look at Washington, yes, they're still riding a pretty high PDO right now, and there is going to be some regression, whether it's the goal scoring or goals against. However, a team like Washington, they get a lead early in games. They have the lead a lot in hockey games, and score effects takes over. Score effects basically means when a team gets a lead, they kind of sit back a little bit more. And when you have a lead as often as Washington does, especially with how good their record is and how many goals they score, that's why their shot metrics don't look amazing, because they do kind of, I wouldn't say they go into a shell, but when you're up 2 or 3 goals heading into the third period, it's going to sway what your shot metrics look like when the other team is pushing to try and tie or get a goal. So that's just how I view Washington right now. So I wouldn't put too much stock into the, pretty middling shot metrics for the Capitals. For the Edmonton Oilers, on their side, they're 34-18-4. They are 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. Expected goals for ranks 3rd in the league, 54.99%. That has dropped a little bit. Power play ranks 7th in the NHL, 24.8%. They only had 1 chance against Philly. If they get 1 against Washington, they got to find a way to make it count because it could be a difference maker. Penalty kill ranks 26th in the NHL, 75.2%. Their penalty kill remains abysmal. It is struggling a lot. Some of it's to do with goaltending. Some of it's to do with coverage. They need more from their penalty kill right now. If guys like Janmark and Henrique and Brown and those guys are going to get continuous, ice time, a lot of, they played so well in the playoffs. But this is not the playoffs anymore. They got to find a way to get this penalty kill under control and get it going. Because if they head into the playoffs and these are the penalty kill metrics that they have, they're not going to be as successful this year as they were last year. Goals per game ranks 4th in the league, 33.30%. Goals against per game ranks 9th in the NHL, 2.80. Corsi 4 ranks 3rd, 54.17%. And shots for percentage ranks 2nd, 54.77%. Now, let's get into the keys of the game here. And then, of course, my score prediction. For the Edmonton Oilers, their keys to the game, clean breakouts. They struggled at getting the puck out of the defensive zone cleanly against Philly. They need to pick that up. If they have the puck, they got to have clean breakouts and attack off the rush. And if you don't have an attack off the rush, make sure that you have your wingers flying into the zone. You dump it in and let them track it and get it. Matthew Savoy created a goal off of a dump and chase where he was able to outmuscle Ristolainen for the puck along the boards, fed it to Draisaitl. Need clean breakouts, need clean dumps and chases, or just clean attacks. So let's see what they can do. In saying that, nothing fancy, right? Simplify your game. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to make 30 passes before the puck goes into the net. Drive the net. Right? Take a shot, take a slap shot from 40 feet out and just drive the net. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be pretty. I want to see this team just simplify things a little bit more. And of course, this was the key to the game against Philly. Did not happen. Until it does, score the first goal is going to be a key to the game. Edmonton needs to get a lead, play with a lead, and feel comfortable with a lead. They get behind so often. And it's exhausting for fans. It's exhausting for the team. Probably exhausting for the coaching staff. Score that first goal. For Washington, hard on the forecheck, force Edmonton to make plays. Kind of goes hand in hand, the forecheck and then forcing Edmonton to make plays. If you make Edmonton's defenders uncomfortable, you're going to have a lot of success with the puck. You're going to have a lot of success on the cycle, and you're going to have a lot of success generating chances into the middle of the ice. For Washington, they have the bodies that can do it. They have the skill that can score goals. And if they are hard on Edmonton's defenders and make their life miserable on the forecheck, Edmonton, they're not going to be able to get their clean breakouts, and Washington is going to come out on top in this one. And then the third key to the game for Washington, special teams feast. Washington's special teams are good. Their power play isn't as good as Edmonton's, but they have some game breakers on there, including Alex Ovechkin, who, by the way, had no points against Pittsburgh in their 8-3 win. So Alex Ovechkin, he is a player to watch for me for Washington. And for the Edmonton Oilers, my player to watch is, of course, Leon Draisaitl. He's one of the only guys that was going against Philly, and he's continuing his really strong play. He's trying to catch up to Nathan MacKinnon in that Art Ross race. He's at 41 goals on the season, and I'd like to see him keep that goal-scoring pace up as well. And yeah, those are my players to watch. My score prediction, it's a tough one. I don't feel good about this. I know everyone's probably going to smash the dislike button, but I'm going to say 5-2 Capitals. It's another matinee. You're on the road. You're still trying to get your feet out from under you from the Four Nations. I just don't like Edmonton's chances going into Washington's barn and coming out with a win in a matinee. I think Washington's going to jump on Edmonton early. The Oilers are going to be chasing, and I think they're going to come out with a 5-2 loss. I'd love to be proven wrong. I would love for the Edmonton Oilers to prove me wrong. I'm one of the first people that will admit when I'm wrong, and I'm the happiest when I'm proven wrong because that means the team is succeeding. So hopefully Edmonton can find a way to beat a very, very good team and start feeling good about their game as they get closer to that trade deadline. And as they continue this 5-game road trip that includes stops in Tampa and Florida as well, those are going to be very tough games for Edmonton. All right, can take a breath here. That's it from me. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to smash the like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I was going to do a live stream, but at 11 a.m., it's a tough one. I will do a live stream for the Tampa and Florida games for sure. I promise. I also have some hockey packs to open as well for the next live stream. And I'll do probably 10 gifted memberships just as my way to, continue to thank you, the community, for always tuning in and supporting me. So if you're excited for the live streams, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the little bell notification button is clicked here on YouTube. That way, when I do go live, you will not miss that opportunity to be gifted a membership and hang out with an amazing community. So thank you all so much. Kind of a lengthy pregame. My apologies for that. If you're still watching at this point, tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers.